Soft lemon sponge, sharp cream cheese frosting, and a thick blueberry filling, this cake is bright and fresh and just the right balance of sweet and tangy. And the best part is that the cake itself couldn't be easier to make. Now I love this cake recipe because it is so straightforward. It's an all-in-one cake, meaning that everything goes into one bowl and gets mixed all together. I'm using a stand mixer today, but you could just as easily use an electric whisk, or you could go full analog and just beat everything with a wooden spoon. So into a bowl, we're adding equal quantities of self-raising flour, caster sugar, and softened butter, followed by the eggs, a touch of vanilla extract, whole milk, and the finely grated zest of 3 unwaxed lemons. We just want the top of the zest here where all those fragrant essential oils are, giving your sponge a strong lemon scent. Now don't grate too hard, because if you do, you'll hit the white pith, and that's just going to add this sort of acrid bitterness to your sponge instead of those light floral lemon aromas. Then here's the best part. Just beat everything together for about 3 or 4 minutes until the mixture becomes smooth, light, and fluffy. No whisking butter and sugar or eggs separately, and no folding anything in. Just turn on the mixer and walk away. Once there are no more lumps of butter and the batter is a dropping consistency, it's ready to go. Now, if you're not sure what a dropping consistency is, because it's a lovely vague cooking term, I've got you. We don't want the batter too thick or thin, so if you turn the spoon over with the batter and it doesn't fall off, it's probably too thick. On the other side of the coin, if it drizzles or drips off the spoon, it's probably too thin. What I look for in dropping consistency is this sort of V shape that's left when the batter falls off the spoon. If I see that, I know I'm pretty much good to go. Thin it out with a bit of milk or thicken it with a bit of flour. It's not ideal, but it's going to save you wasting a whole bunch of ingredients. Divide the batter evenly between 3 lined cake tins and smooth the tops. I'm using 7-inch tins here, but 3 6-inch tins would also work well. Any bigger and the sponge will be too thin when divided into 3, so you may need to reduce the number of tins you use. Bake at 170 degrees C for about 20 to 25 minutes until the cake pulls away slightly from the sides of the tin and springs back when lightly pressed. Once they come out of the oven, leave them to cool for a couple of minutes before turning them out onto a wire rack to cool completely. And while they're cooling, let's talk about the blueberry filling. If you want the full step-by-step recipe all written out, you can find it over on my Patreon. It's a great way to support the channel and access hundreds of my other recipes, all for less than a cup of coffee. Now, this filling is thick, glossy, and packed with blueberries, and in the spirit of this cake, it's another all-in-one recipe. But you will need to think ahead and prepare this before your sponge. Add frozen blueberries, caster sugar, corn flour, and lemon juice to a saucepan and give everything a little mix inside the pan. This just allows us to make sure that the corn flour's been dissolved properly and there aren't any lumps before we start cooking. Place the pan on a medium heat and gently bring everything up to a simmer. Stir the blueberries regularly so nothing catches on the bottom, and as the mixture heats up, you'll find that the liquid changes from cloudy to clear. And from there, the corn flour is going to kick into action and start thickening up the whole mix. Keep stirring during this time to ensure that the filling is smooth and thickens evenly, preventing any lumps from forming. Just as it starts to simmer, turn the heat down low and continue to stir for 3 or 4 minutes to ensure that the blueberries have thawed and released most of their juice. And once it thickens into a rich, jammy filling like this, remove it from the heat, place it into a bowl and let it cool completely. Press a little baking paper directly onto the surface to stop a skin from forming, and then into the fridge for several hours or overnight just so it thickens properly. Now we just need our icing. Unfortunately, this isn't an all-in-one mix, but I think you'll survive. First, place cold butter into a bowl and beat until soft. This just makes it easier to beat all the frosting ingredients together without ending up with loads of little lumps of butter in the icing. Once that's done, add your full fat cream cheese and beat together with the softened butter until smooth, adding a little vanilla extract as you do. Add the icing sugar, sifting it over the cream cheese mixture and gently mixing it in to avoid creating a giant cloud of sugar. Then once all the icing sugar's in, use an electric whisk to whip everything up for a couple of minutes until light and fluffy. We're going to be looking for that V-shaped dropping consistency again. The frosting should be smooth, creamy, and just slightly tangy from the cream cheese. Perfect to go with that lemon sponge and that sweet blueberry filling. So now, it's time to assemble the cake. Make sure the cakes are completely cool before you start assembling. If they are even just a little bit warm, they will melt the icing. Place the first cake onto a plate and pipe a thin layer of icing all over the surface of the sponge, followed by a thick ring of frosting around the outside edge. This is going to act like a bit of a dam to stop the blueberry filling from escaping. Spoon some of that blueberry filling into the center and spread it out a bit inside that ring. Flip the second cake layer upside down and place it on top of the icing and the blueberry filling, and then repeat the process. More icing, a thick ring around the edge and some more blueberry filling. Finally, add the last layer of sponge. Now you can use any remaining frosting to cover the tops and the sides of the cake should you wish. Now I'll be honest, cake decorating has never particularly been a strong skill of mine, but after this point, I was practically fighting for my life for this cake. Unfortunately, the room was getting warmer, the icing was getting softer, and I was doing everything in my power to try and keep this cake together. Basically, I only had about 20 minutes before I had to go and pick up the kids. I wasn't going to be able to come back to this cake later, so it needed to be done and finished now. So I basically spent about 5 minutes just trying to neaten up the outside of this cake as the blueberry filling and the icing just slowly came out the edge. If I had more time and I was actually thinking clearly, I probably just would have shoved the cake into the fridge for half an hour with the spare icing, just to firm it up a bit and then tackle it again. The whole thing would have just been so much easier to handle. I mean, I got there eventually and it has this sort of scraped, naked cake look, but it totally ruined my day, and I'd be lying if I'd said that I hadn't been thinking about it for like the last 4 days. I've been questioning some things. Now you can pipe some decoration on top, but I think we can all agree I'm already out of my depth, so I'm just going to keep it simple. Before slicing, I'd recommend chilling the cake in the fridge for about an hour so everything firms up nicely. I didn't do this. Remember picking up the kids in 20 minutes, panicking, but thankfully this still cut beautifully, showing off those soft sponge layers, creamy frosting, and rich blueberry filling running through the middle. Look, I'm not going to win a cake decorating award anytime soon, but this cake is still exceptional. Tasty. If you make this, let me know how it went, hopefully better than mine. And if you'd like the full step-by-step recipe all written out, you can find it over on my Patreon. It's a great way to support the channel and find all my recipes in one place. And if you want more recipes like this one, check out this video next.